Hey, what's up everybody? Eternal Fire here, and today we're going to be talking about healing Mouseover macros. So, when you're a healer and you have Mouseover macros, it can really improve your reaction time and your overall performance because it's reducing the fact that now when you have your raid frames up, you don't need to be clicking every single time you cast a spell on a different raid member. So that's the main thing. You can just simply mouse over your target and hit the spell without selecting them, which also means that, say this guy's the raid boss over here, I can have him selected the whole time. I can be watching his health, I can be throwing in DPS, and I never have to take my eyes off him. Also, I'm going to have other things in my UI that will tell me when that guy is casting something, but in a dungeon or what have you, it's just really helpful to have. But the big thing, the main thing, is that I can just very quickly mouse over a target that needs a certain spell, and that's that. So there's a couple different things that you can do. So we're going to hit /M, or you can do /macro, and it'll bring up your macro page. So it's gonna put you on general automatically, and you're gonna go to Eternal Fire specific macros. So it's specific for this character. So these macros won't be showing up on my other characters. It's just for my druid. So there's a couple different ways you can do this. The simplest way is just /cast bracket target equals mouse over bracket, then no space and rejuvenation. Okay, and what that's going to do is it is only going to use, if I use that, I have it saved. So basically what you would do is, and in the description below, you can just copy and paste all these things, so you don't have to remember it or pause it here to write it out. So just check the description and then you can just copy and paste in your own macro bar in the game. So with this is a simple mouse over macro. And if you do it correctly, when you create the icon, it'll pull up. You hit new, and then it'll pop this page up. You name it, and you pick a icon. If you do the mouse over macro correctly, you just need to put the title in. Don't worry about the icon because it'll automatically generate the icon, right? So anyway, so you make it, and then you simply do that. Paste that, and then type the name in with no space after the last bracket, and it'll make a perfect mouse over macro for you. So what does that mean? It means when I use rejuvenation over myself, I'll cast rejuve. I didn't have to select myself. I could be selected on this pretend raid boss over here, and now I'm casting rejuvenation on myself because I'm mousing over. However, we're going to cancel that. The one thing about that simple macro is I don't have anything moused over. I just want to heal myself, right? Because that's pretty normal for the game to do. I want to heal myself, but I'm not mousing over myself. You're seeing nothing's happening. Okay, so that's where we're going to make the next macro. So I'm going to make a new macro, and we're going to call it rejuves, and I'm going to Control V, my new macro. And as you can see, it's a lot more complicated looking. Hashtag show tooltip /cast bracket target mouse over comma help. Again, check the description and you can just copy this so you don't have to remember it or whatever. And then all I have to do, and again, remember I didn't do an icon, I just named it. All I have to do here is change Lifebloom with rejuvenation in all three spots, and this is where it gets really great. This is a fantastic macro to use. Rejuvenation, and one last time, rejuvenation, and we're going to save it, and you see it automatically changes the icon to rejuvenation. So now we have our new macro. All right, I did just do that, right? And here's the cool thing. When you make that macro, now I can cast rejuvenation on myself when I have no target that is healable, no friendly target that's healable. So what this macro does is it prefers the person you're mousing over. If you're not mousing over anybody, it prefers your target that you have targeted if they're a friendly player. If you're not mousing over anybody and you don't have a friendly target to heal, it'll prefer you. So that's the nice thing about the macro is, again, just to clarify, if you're mousing over your target, it'll prefer your mouse over target. If you're not mousing over any targets, but you have a friendly player that can be healed, and you have them selected, it will heal that person. If you don't have a mouse over target and you don't have a friendly target selected, you can simply cast and it'll go on yourself. So when you have the boss selected, you're not mousing over anybody in your raid frames. You can simply hit the ability and it will heal yourself. So that is just a really, really nice mouse over macro for yourself. And it just, it breaks it down. It's situational. It's like if you don't have a target, then it does this. If you don't have a mouse over, then it does this. And that way, if you don't, if you're not mousing over somebody with the old macro, you're not just sitting there hitting a button and nothing's happening. So I recommend, if you're going to do this, anything that you can target a friendly player and use. So like I have, my hots and then my just regular healing spells, but then we have Swift Mend. You want to make sure you use that macro with Swift Mend. I have Iron Bark. Don't forget to use spells like Iron Bark. So when that tank needs that Iron Bark, you're not sitting there selected on something, targeting the boss, and then you're trying to use Iron Bark on the tank. And guess what? You don't have it macroed correctly because he's not selected. So make sure things like that anything that you can cast as a healer on other players, you want to make that mouse over macro. So again, all you have to do is just go new. We're going to do healing. If I could spell it right, that'd be fantastic. Healing touch. Okay. We're going to control V, which pastes it. And then we're simply going to change the name Lifebloom to Healing Touch. And that is all there is to it. It is a great macro. So let's take a look and see what that looks like in a raid situation. And there you go, Healing Touch with all your conditions in place. Another nice thing about this macro setup is you see this, I have regrowth as the mouse over, so it'll only heal your mouse over target. If you don't have a mouse over target, the button doesn't work essentially. And also you'll see in the right here where my information is, sometimes it's nice to just mouse over your ability whenever you're doing something and read it. But a lot of macros will do this where it just shows the name of the macro. But when you use this healing macro with show tooltip, it's because you're showing the tooltip, then you can simply mouse over and see, read heals the target for 304,000 over 18 seconds. And it's just nice. It's a little quality of life. Makes things easier. So that's it. Let's take a quick look at what it looks like in a raid and your reaction time, and that'll be it. So here we go. We're going to do Heroic Goroth. Now, don't judge me for my healing numbers because this character is pretty undergeared for Resto. So just bear with me. That's not what the video is about. So what we've done here is I have the boss selected on the right of my UI. As you can see, I'm on the left. My personal unit frame is on the left. The boss UI, unit frame is to the right of the raid. And then I have the raid unit frames right in the middle of those two. So they're in the central, part of my screen. They're very easily seen, and I can pay attention to my character and what's going on around me at the same time. So basically what I'm doing here is I have the boss selected, but what I'm doing is I'm mousing over the targets and I'm healing as I go. So it makes it so your reaction time is much faster. So instead of having to click, mouse over, click, and then heal, I'm simply mousing over quickly. And it makes it so much easier. Now, when you make this change from being, clicking your raid frames and healing to mousing over, don't be too hard on yourself because it definitely does take practice to do this. One of the things about it is you're going to be clicking the target. If that's what you're used to and that's your habit, you're going to mouse over, click, and then heal the target. And I actually do that a few times on this fight as well. But it's just going to take practice. Keep at it. Don't get discouraged. You're gonna get it. So like anything, when you change something that you've been doing for a long time or a while anyway, it's going to take practice to get over. But it's so beneficial to be able to target the boss and then just mouse over targets. So that's the big thing about it. It really increases your reaction time and it reduces the amount that you have to do. It makes it so your action from you is required is less. So instead of having to mouse over, click, heal, you're just mousing over and healing. And so, in situations where, you've been healing in the past and it seems like everybody else is just beating you to, spike heal the person that's really low. Now you can be that person that's beating the other healers to spike healing someone. So that is the big thing behind it. So, get practicing. I hope you guys found this helpful. If you have any questions, definitely let me know. Um, and again, check the description. If you like this video, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.